Hi, my name is Ko Jinjing. So I'm going to present for the economic analysis part. So for the objective of the analysis is to evaluate the economic factor that could influence the Magnus Berhad financial performance and stock valuation. So I will using the microeconomic indicator to provide to determine their potential in influence on Magnus Berhad operates. Through this microeconomic lens, investor and stakeholder can make an informed decision, anticipate economic risks and opportunities for the Magnus Berhad operates. So let's start with the GDP growth rate. So here is the data for the GDP growth in Malaysia from 2017 to 2021. So we can see from 2017 is 5.8%, move on to 4.8% and 4.4% and minus 5.5% and 3.3% for the 2021. So we can see during 2020 there was a significant contraction occur which happened happened due to the COVID-19 pandemic that caused the GDP growth can drop to minus 0.5%. But after 2021 it's bounced back to positive 3.3%, which means that people already find a solution to overcome the pandemic. So the next is inflation rates. So this table show the inflation rate in Malaysia from 2017 to 2022. So let's start for 2017, which is 3.9%, and then 0.9%, 0.7%, and minus 1.1% in 2020, and 2.5% in 2021, and 3.4% in 2022. So with this table, we can overall see the inflation rate in Malaysia can be considered relatively low, but there was a negative inflation rate during 2020, which means there was a decrease in general price level, which means it's deflation. So this deflation can likely cause because of the COVID-19 pandemic again, just now with the GDP. So however, the inflation rate is bound to positive in to 3.4% in 2022, which can attribute to the other factors such as the strengthening of the US dollar against major currency and geopolitical tension between Russia and Ukraine. Let's move on to interest rate. So here's a table for the interest rate in Malaysia from 2017 to 2021. So based on data, measure uh, the first one is a 0.8% for 2017 interest rate, and then move on to 2018 4.5% and 4.8% for 2019 and 2020, and then 2021 negative 2.1%. So what does it mean? So before that, we need to know that the interest rate in Malaysia are determined by the Central Bank Malaysia, known as the Bank Negara Malaysia. So the interest rate in Malaysia display a declining pattern during the mentioning period. This decline suggests a decrease of a borrow cost for both business and individual, such as the reduction in the lending interest rate indicate that the Bank Negara Malaysia is implemented an expansionary monetary policy. They lower the interest rate and to stimulate the economic growth after the pandemic that caused the damage to economy in Malaysia. So move on to the unemployment rates. So this is a table for the unemployment rate in Malaysia since 2017 and 2022. So based on we can see the 2017, the unemployment is 3.4, and then remains stable in 2018, 2019 is 3.3, and then however in 2020 it increased to 4.1%, 4.5%. So which can see is attribute for the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. So which means during the time that significant job loss happened to all the various sector for the economy. So however the situation gradually improved after the lockdown is over in 2021. The unemployment rate is decreased to 4%. So which means there was a positive shift to the labor market condition. So move on to 2022, the unemployment is continuous decrease to 3.7%, show a good sign for the economy. So move on to the exchange rate. So here is the exchange rate for from Malaysian ringgit to per US dollar since 2017 to 2022. So we can see in 2017 is 70 to 2000 uh 2017 the exchange rate is 4.3 ringgit for US dollar, but it decreased to 4.044 in 2018, and then 2019 increased a little bit to 4.14, and 2022 4.2. But the during 2021 the exchange rate remained steady at 4.1%, 4.14. However, during 2022 there was a big shift for the Malaysian ringgit. They would need of 4.4 ringgit per US dollar, which means there was a several factor can influence the exchange rate. So one possible factor is the fluctuation of the oil price. So we know that Malaysia is a country significant player in the global oil market. Changes in oil price can impact the country export earning, uh, and also their balance of trade, which means influence their overall economic stability. And to de- to be answered, it will affect the exchange rate it will affect the exchange rate. So beside there was another factor which is I have mentioned just now, the geopolitical developments such as the war in Ukraine can also influence the exchange rate between the Malaysian ringgit and US dollar, because the war can create a uncertainty and impact global market, including currency market. Investor sentiment and risk appetite may shift to risk, leading to changes in the exchange rates. Here's all from me. Thank you.
Now I'll be talking about industry analysis. Industry analysis is a tool for analyzing a company's position in relation to other businesses that provide comparable goods or services. So that is called industry analysis. It is also an essential element of successful strategic planning, that is having a solid understanding of the forces operating across the whole industry. Therefore, small business owners can identify the dangers and possibilities facing their companies through industry analysis. Next, I'll be moving into competitive landscape. Magnum Berhad is an investment holding company that focuses mostly on the gaming factor. Through a government license, Magnum specializes in the lottery forecasting industry. Magnum 4D Powerball, Magnum 4D Jackpot, and Magnum 4D Jackpot Gold are the three primary lotteries run by the corporation. Next, we'll be moving into Malaysia's sector's performance. So, Figure 7 shows Magnum Berhad performance YTD. Magnum Berhad's progress in the Malaysian market in 2022 was uneven. The company saw a growth in revenue of 10% to 1.6 billion ringgit, but a 15% decline in earnings to 200 million ringgit. The expansion of Malaysia's lottery market was the cause of the increase in revenue. However, increasing operating costs and a fall in the number of winners is the cause for the decline in the profits. Despite the inconsistent results, Magnum Berhad is still a profitable business. Magnum Berhad is well positioned to profit from the expansion of the lottery sector in Malaysia. The business enjoys a strong brand, a following of devoted clients, and also an extensive distribution network. So, here, this is actually figure 8 shows chart comparison for sectors. And this is the explanation for the business cycle. So, expansion. When the economy is expanding, businesses are doing well. We are in the expansion period. During this era, Magnum Berhad normally sees a rise in revenue and also earnings. Next, we'll be moving into peak. The business cycle's highest point is known as the peak. So during this stage, Magnum Berhad's growth may slow down, but it is also performing well when you look at the overall graph. Next is the contraction. So, during the contraction phase, the economy contracts and business conditions deteriorate. During this era, Magnum Berhad's revenue and earnings could decrease. True, The business cycle's low point is known as through. Magnum Berhad may suffer losses during this time, but it is typically manages to weather the storm and come out stronger. So next we'll be looking at the competitor valuation. So this basically shows the table for the competitor valuation. So Magnum Berhad is a reputable lottery company with a solid reputation and a devoted client. So the company has a history of profitability and has been in operation for more than 50 years. Magnum Berhad has a robust balance sheet and is also financially sound. Magnum Berhad still has to contend with issues like growing competitiveness, a shifting regulatory landscape, and technological improvements. The business's PE ratio of 14.4x is higher than of its competitors, suggesting that investors anticipate the company will grow more quickly in the future. Even though REG International Berhad has the highest PE ratio of 24.6x. Magnum Berhad is not far back as its PE ratio is also higher than Sports Toto Berhad and also Berjaya Food Berhad. So that's all from me for industry analysis. Now I'll pass it on to the next person. Thank you.
And greetings to all. My name is Amir Haika bin Azman, and I'm going to talk about the equity valuation for Magnum Berhad Company. So the first one we're going to talk about is the equity valuation for Magnum Berhad. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the price to earning ratio for Magnum Berhad, and we compared it to another company which have the same line of business, which is Genting Berhad, to compare it with. So as we can see, Magnum Berhad has RM1, the market value, and the earning value is 1.01. So how we can find the earning ratio? It is with the formula. The formula is the current market value divided by the earning price value. So with that we get 0.99 for Magnum Berhad, and for the Genting the current market value is 4.17, and the earning value is 4.18, which we will get 0.998. So the second things I'm going to talk about is the DCF analysis, which is discounted cash flow analysis. So we have, as I said just now, we have two companies, and we're going to talk about the first one, which is our report company, which is Magnum Berhad. So we can see the future cash flow for the Magnum Berhad from the year 2023 up until 2032. We can see the prices increases from 202.9 millions up to 226.7 million, and the growth rate estimate source is the first 2 years we get analyst times 3, and then the following 2 years we get analyst times 1, and we can see here from 2027 up until 2032 we have the different EST growth rate. EST is FCF growth rate, and FCF is stand by free cash flow. So we can see there is from 0.11% up until to 2.97%. So in the present value, we can see from the year 2023 up until 2032, the present value discounted at 20% decreases from 182 millions to 75.4 millions. So the present value of 10 years cash flow for Magnum Berhad is appointed at RM 1.2 billion. As for the Genting Berhad, we can see from the year 2023 up until to 2032, we can see from 4.30 billion, it decreases to 2.70 billion. As the analysis as the estimate growth rate, we get the first 3 year to analyst times 1, and the following year we get from negative 9.94 up until to 1.98%. So we can see from the year 2023, the the future value in millions, we get 3.6k millions going down to rm 451 millions, and the present value of 10 years cash flow for Genting Berhad is 14 billion. So for the Magnum Berhad's future cash flow is we get roughly about 1.2 billion, whereas the Genting Berhad we get around 14 billion dollars, 14 billion ringgit, according to the DCF analysis. So this indicates each projected intrinsic value, each company intrinsic value. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Aiman Hafiz, and I'll be presenting on the financial statement analysis. So, the data obtained is from the annual report 2022 of Magnum Berhad, and we'll be comparing the company's performance for the year 2021 and 2022. So firstly, looking at the liquidity ratio, we can see that Magnum Berhad has a decreasing ability to cover its short-term liabilities from the previous years by liquidating current assets and survive for one operating cycle. Next, for the asset management ratio, Magnum Berhad has shown an improvement in their ability to turn their assets into revenues and earnings, which is a sign of the company's overall efficiency in asset management. Moving on to the profitability ratio, Magnum Berhad once again has shown an improvement by the amount of profit that the company has earned from all of its revenue, invested capital, and equity investment compared to year 2021. Next is the leverage ratio, where Magnum, in this case, has a decreasing ability to meet their financial obligation through their assets, but the company has an increasing ability to meet their financial obligations through their earnings. Last but not least is the market value ratio. The company has shown a tremendous amount of improvement through their market value, which can attract investor through their shares, and also which is a sign that the company is now fully functioning and ready to compete in the market.
My name is Hafid Akidemir Salfi, and I'll be doing the technical analysis for Magnum Berhad. So one of the technical analysis method that we used was support and resistance. Technical analysts pay particular attention to support and resistance levels, as these points often represent critical psychological thresholds for market participants. Within our analysis period, the lowest price of 0.1 was achieved on May 17, 2023, and is identified as a possible support level. Conversely, the highest price within the same period, which is 1.14000 on was achieved on 30th of March 2023. This could act as a potential resistance level in the future. So the next technical analysis method that we used was using the 50 days period simple moving averages. Moving averages can be employed to smooth out price volatility and better discern trends. In the case of Magnum Berhad, it would be beneficial to compute simple moving averages over our period of analysis. If prices are consistently below this average, this could indicate a continuing downtrend. In Magnum Berhad case, the price managed to break the SMA line on 30th of January 2023. However, it failed to keep its momentum. The price then fell below the 50 days SMA on the 2nd of February, and has stayed below the 50 days period SMA until today. It's the 19th of June 2023. The price being below the SMA lines usually means the stock is currently in a downtrend. The next technical analysis method that we use is using the technical indicator relative strength index, or RSI. So RSI measures the speed and change of price movements and is often used to identify overbought or oversold condition in the market. An RSI value above 70 typically suggests that a stock is overbought and a value below 30 suggests that it is oversold. Upon calculating the RSI for Magnum Berhad for the year 2023, we notice that the RSI dips below 30 multiple times, indicating oversold conditions and a potential reversal in the trend. However, the stock has not shown any strong signs of reversing the downward trend. So, in conclusion, Magnum Berhad is uniquely positioned within the market, boasting significant profitability and a strong foothold in the Malaysian lottery sector. This is despite concurrent challenges such as bearish stock trend and a broader market adversities in 2023. The company has shown resilience navigating through economic fluctuations like the COVID-19 pandemic impact, GDP contractions, and changes in interest and inflation rates. Nevertheless, there are concerns due to a decline in liquidity ratios, signaling potential challenges in meeting short-term obligations. Additionally, while the company has a strong standing within the competitive landscape, it is not impervious to challenges presented by increased competition, shifting regulations, and technological advancements. As for our recommendation, given these factors, our recommendation for investors is to adopt a cautious stance. Magnum Berhad's growth potential and demonstration of resilience across business cycles are promising, yet the current financial and economic factors advise against immediate investments. While Magnum Berhad holds promising long-term prospects, we advise investors to refrain from purchasing at this time. Instead, it is recommended that investors continue closely monitoring the company's financial health, stock performance, and overall economic indicators before making an investment decision. That is all from us. Thank you.